You know that physical drop in your stomach right before a massive life decision? Imagine that. But you are also trapped in a freezing cabin in the woods with your future in-laws.
Oh, that sounds like an absolute nightmare.
Right. Well, today's deep dive is pulling from reviews and production notes detailing Netflix's new horror series, Something Very Bad is Going to Happen. We were looking at how creator Haley Z. Boston and the Duffer Brothers took that primal fear of marrying the wrong person and, engineered it into an 8-episode nightmare.
Yeah, the setup is just brilliantly deceptive. So we follow Rachel, played by Camila Morrone, and her fiancé Nikki as they head to his family's isolated, snowbound estate the week before their wedding.
The environment immediately signals hostility, doesn't it?
It really does. I mean, on the drive there, they pass this grisly roadkill and then, much worse, an abandoned baby inside a car.
Which is just visceral.
Yeah.
And that hostility just amplifies once they actually get inside the house. Like Jennifer Jason Leigh plays the deeply narcissistic mother, and Gus Burney is the sister who literally lacks any social filter.
Exactly. Reading the breakdown of these interactions, the dynamic operates exactly like a psychological escape room.
That's exactly it. It isn't just about feeling awkward. It is a structural trap. Rachel is forced to navigate this maze of unspoken family traditions where every misstep is penalized, but nobody will actually tell her what the rules are.
And that structural trap is the core mechanism of the show. The creator takes supernatural body horror, where the threat is a physical violation, and uses it to represent the grounded fear of marriage.
So the horror is not just monsters, right?
Right. It is the systematic erosion of Rachel's independence. She is constantly pressured to assimilate into this bizarre family unit.
But wait, if the family dynamic is already that suffocating, why add a literal curse to the mix? I mean, does the show actually need a supernatural villain, or is the mundane reality of these terrible in-laws enough to carry the terror?
Well, the supernatural element acts as a pressure cooker. The production filmed in the freezing woods of Ontario using these tight, really claustrophobic camera angles.
Oh, and sometimes they switch to a found footage style, right? Like a shaky handheld home video.
Yeah, exactly. It strips away the polished Hollywood look. It makes you feel uncomfortably like an intruder in their private space. Add Colin Stetson's frantic, nerve-shredding score to that, and the curse becomes an inescapable physical presence.
And that found footage element actually ties directly into the generational trauma plotline. We see horror icon Victoria Pedretti pop up in episode 4 as Rachel's mother, entirely through old home videos showing her own bloody wedding day.
Which is such a brilliant way to establish that this anxiety is inherited. The curse literally travels down the bloodline.
The show argues that we don't just marry a person, we marry their family's unresolved history. The rules are strict. If someone in the bloodline is proposed to, they must marry their true soulmate, or they die.
And if they refuse to marry entirely, the curse jumps to the fiancé's family. Metaphorically, it forces the characters to either face their deepest truths or pass their toxic baggage onto someone else.
Which brings us to the altar. This mounting dread leads to a literal bloodbath. Rachel finally convinces herself Nikki is the one, but in a massive subversion, Nikki actually backs out.
Right, and by walking away, his entire family succumbs to the transferred curse. They literally collapse, bleeding from their eyes.
It is wild. Rachel dies too, but she is immediately reborn as an entity called the Witness.
Her rebirth as the Witness is fascinating. She sheds her identity as a bride to become an impartial observer, basically choosing sheer freedom over forcing a doomed relationship to work.
But the survival mechanics of this curse are what really caught my eye. Nikki's family gets wiped out, except for his brother Jules and his wife Nell.
Yeah, the ones who spend all 8 episodes screaming at each other.
Exactly. They're constantly on the verge of divorce. So why are they the only ones left standing?
Because the curse demands absolute, unvarnished truth. Jules and Nell survive specifically because they do not hide their ugliness.
So their relationship is a mess, but it is entirely authentic.
Exactly. They are genuine soulmates because they see each other's glaring flaws and choose to stay, whereas Rachel and Nikki were just playing the roles of a perfect couple.
Wow. And I know the creators mentioned turning season 2 into an anthology series, keeping the same tone, but focusing on a totally new cast and a completely different existential fear.
It is a smart pivot, considering how definitively this first story concludes its exploration of matrimonial dread.
It really makes you look at the whole wedding industry differently. We spend so much time and money orchestrating these flawless, picturesque ceremonies, smiling for the cameras.
Oh, absolutely. It is all a performance.
Right. But if surviving this curse requires the kind of raw, unfiltered honesty that usually looks pretty ugly from the outside. Maybe the real horror story is the societal pressure to perform perfection in the first place. Think about that next time you RSVP to a destination wedding.